Thanks for taking me home.
You're welcome.
Oh no, my econ project is due tomorrow, and it has not been started yet. Oh my god, it's a program about South Africa on TV.
So it was determined, therefore, by a team of professionals and scientists that overloading a young man's mind with homework and possibly even economics projects can lead to lung cancer. Thank you for tuning into this segment. Now we head over to our segment on South Africa. It is a special we have playing tonight. I am the reporter Bob, and over there is John. So before we begin, is there any information you'd like to give us on South Africa?
First, I'm going to show you some statistics.
Okay, so there are a lot of numbers up here. Could you elaborate on these?
Certainly. Firstly, as you can see, there are no similarities. Unemployment is noticeably higher than in the United States because South Africa is recovering from the apartheid era, an era where the white minority government controlled South Africa. The apartheid era created poverty, a shortage of public transportation, and a lack of economic empowerment among disadvantaged groups. Another reason why unemployment is high is because there is a wave of violent attacks against migrant workers from other African countries. So in other words, there is a pretty high sense of xenophobia in the country, and it's hurting the economy. As said by the IMF, global food and fuel price shocks have boosted inflation and external current account deficit, while economic growth has slowed in the context of still high levels of unemployment and inequality. So the South African economy has a great many challenges it must deal with. They are not present in the United States.
What about the GDP?
The GDP of the United States is much higher because it has the largest and most technologically powerful economy in the world. South Africa is fighting outdated infrastructure. An example of this was that there was an electricity crisis in 2007 because the power supply company, Eskom, suffered problems with aged plants, causing electricity cuts in residential and businesses in major cities. This problem came about simply because of the mechanical problems with the plant, which were brought on by the fact that they were very, very old.
Hi, I'm Bruce McKenzie. Join us as we explore South Africa. So, what are the main sources of income for South Africa?
The main sources of income for South Africa are agriculture, farming, the automobile industry, mining, and minerals.
More about one of those.
I'll tell you a bit about the agriculture. With its abundance of land and resources, South Africa is a major producer of food for the world. 13% of South African land is used for farming, and almost 50% of the water in South Africa is used for agriculture. The reason South Africa is such a good farming country is that it has 3 distinct climate zones: tropical, subtropical, and desert. So quite a diverse amount of products can be grown there. South Africa is among the world's top 5 exporters of avocados, grapefruit, tangerines, plums, pears, table grapes, and ostrich products also. Farming contributes to some 8% of the country's total exports.
The primary industries of South Africa.
Africa's primary industries are the automobile industry, the tourist industry, the mining industry, the chemical industry, and the electrical industry. A big one is the automobile industry. Even though it's a minor contributor to the world production of cars, it is a major industry in South Africa because it employs over 36,000 workers. With major firms such as Ford, GM, Toyota, and others manufacturing their vehicles in South Africa vehicle sales have skyrocketed in the past few years. In general, because it's cheaper. The labor is cheaper, the resources are cheaper, so everything is cheaper. South Africa is also a pretty well-developed country, so that gives it some reliability. Africa in general is blessed with an abundance of natural resources like diamonds, coal, and other useful resources, hence why the mining industry is so important. Since resources like this are already there, it saves on shipping costs. The industry that has been around for ages is the tourist industry. With its beautiful, lush rainforest and fantastic climate, it is only natural that South Africa has a large tourist industry. With over 9 million tourist arrivals in 2007 alone, South Africa is one of the fastest growing travel destinations in the world.
So more and more people are liking South Africa as a vacation spot. Any reason why that is?
Compared to other parts of Africa, it has a much safer and more comfortable feel since it's a developing country rather than a third world country. Besides that, climate and geography play the biggest part, along with the wildlife and other exotic things that grab people's attention.
So what are the main exports of South Africa?
South Africa's main exports include gold, diamonds, metals and minerals, cars, and machinery. So essentially the major industries. Ever since South Africa has discovered and dug them up, gold, silver, diamonds, and resources like that, and metals, have been South Africa's #1 export, making the mining industry the 4th largest in the world. The metals are used to produce machinery and automobiles that can be exported as well to other countries such as Japan, France, UK, and the United States.